Welcome to the Inspection Empire Builder podcast. On today's episode, we're talking about a growing company, about hiring and growth, and some of the struggles and obstacles that we all have to face and overcome. This is going to be a great episode. And welcome to the show. I'm so glad you tuned in today. Today, we are hanging out, talking about growing our business. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you doing today, Matt?
I am doing really, really well. It's a good day here. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The weather's beautiful, as always. Where are you dialing in from? Where are you located?
We are actually located here in North Royalton, Cleveland, Ohio, in the cold state. I'm very jealous of you. You got warm weather. We got cold weather here.
Yeah, 300 days of sunshine. Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous. We get like 300 days of cloudy, snowy weather, rainy weather.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was born in Portland, Oregon, and it was like that. Clouds all the time. Yeah, beautiful. Like crazy. So much greenery. So this is the trade-off, right? I live in the desert, right? It's sunshine, blue skies, clear horizons, because there's not very many trees. Yeah. It's lots of, in Oregon, there's like so many shades of green that you're just like, I didn't know that many shades of green existed. Here in Albuquerque, there's so many shades of brown. I don't know if you know how many shades of brown exist until you come to the desert.
Oh my gosh. I got family lives in Nevada. So I know how it is. So
very similar. Yeah, very similar.
Hot
Nevada,
and dry.
Arizona. Yep. Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. Yeah. We're all in a similar boat. Yeah. Well, so James, you have an interesting background before you got into inspections.
Sure.
If I remember right, you were a chef for a while. Is that correct?
Yes. You're like, oh, you're a chef. Like, you tell me how to cook food. Like, so basically, long story short, I'm a talker. You're like, please stop talking, please. My grandfather was a baker in Detroit. So I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. My grandfather was a baker for Kroger's, and I kind of fell into the industry based on his background. So I was a chef for a couple of country clubs, hotels, basically a lot of like resorts per se. So I got in this chef industry, and being a chef, you got to hustle. You got to work really hard, work long hours on your feet. You work extreme weathers with hot kitchens. You got to go in those freezers. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of grind. And I think a lot of that, what really helped me in my business right now is hustling, grinding for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then, you fast forward, now you're living in Ohio, and what got you into home inspection?
Well, long story short, I'm married to a realtor. So when I met Linda online, we met at christianmingle.com back in 2003, and I was living in Sterling Heights. She was living in Perrysburg, and we started connecting online, and she was working for Toledo Blade, but she also worked for Danbury Real Estate too. And so we started connecting, and she's like, hey, you know what? I know you're culinary, but you were for your dad doing carpentry work. How about we start buying some houses? Took some houses out in the Toledo area. So we started looking at these houses and buying them, and we started remodeling, flipping them, and we always had inspectors from her brokerage come out there, inspect these homes, right, Matt? And so back then we had the old clipboard, write everything down on there, not like digital today. And I was like, you know what? I could do this. Because I can do this, what they're doing. But I was just so busy being back in Michigan, and these houses in Toledo, I was like, I didn't have the time. So long story short, man, we started like renovating these homes, finding things in the homes. I started finding like big ticket items, right, Matt? I'm talking about like knob tube wiring, talk about asbestos, galvanized piping. And listen, I know there's old homes. I knew it's going to be in there, but at least, bro, call it out, right? Just tell me about it. So I at least get a price reduction, right? And he didn't. So I was spending like $1,000 more in this house.
Oh, wow.
It was like, come on. It wasn't like one house, man. It was like 2 or 3 other houses we found like that.
That's missing some big ticket items.
They are. Yeah. They really are, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild. So you're seeing like, I could do this thing. So then you decide what? Are you gonna move to Ohio and going to be a home inspector?
Well, yeah, I moved to Ohio, and I got industry from a couple of colleagues up there in Michigan. We started working shadows inspections out there. Worked for a company up there for a little bit. But long story short, I kind of got back into it after COVID. When COVID
Okay.
hit, I got into it, back into it got out of it for like a good couple of years, got back into it. And when I got into COVID, it was like, so I'm going to
That's a
fast forward
great, well,
time.
COVID's a great catalytic moment for a lot of people,
Yes.
right? Because it really
Right.
shook the world up. And,
Yep.
and so it gave a lot of people a lot of opportunity to kind of pause and go, do I really like what I'm doing? What do I really want to do with my life? And it was
Right.
really a pretty heavy reset. A lot of people made career changes. A lot of people make decisions to move to other places of the country or the world because this was an opportunity to do that. And so it makes total sense. Like COVID hits, people make shifts. You jump into you kind of it sounds like you'd kind of mess with it a little bit off and on, but you're like, no, this is what I want. And now you're like really pushing hard at it. And that's, so now it would be what, maybe 6 years you've been working hard at it at this point?
7, 8 years. Yeah. Yeah. Because 6, 7 years. Yeah. Because what happened, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, my story. When the housing recession hit in 06, 07, Linda got out of real estate. I got out of it. And back then, Ohio wasn't licensed. Michigan's still not licensed. So it was like a wild, wild west, So that's the reason why I got out of it. And we got back into it when COVID hit because she lost her job. And she's like, I lost my job because of COVID. What do you want to do? I was like, well, Linda, you're a great realtor. You love sales. She goes, let's get back into it. So she got back into real estate and I got back in inspections. It was like boom ever since. So we moved from the Toledo metro area, Perrysburg, out to Cleveland. I come out to Cleveland, like, I didn't hear about you guys. Who are you? I go to brokers. It's like, yeah, I contact my friend of mine and she never heard of you guys. Where are you from? I said, we're not from the area. We came out from the Toledo area out to Cleveland area. So we're like, we're just basically new people out here. So
yeah. So you get it going. Things are growing. Things are cooking along.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And so along the journey, like, I think every inspector kind of starts off the same way, right? You think, I think I could do this. So then you sign up for some online course to learn how to do it, right? They tell you, take this course, make $1 million. It's super easy, right? And then you get out there and you realize it's not super easy.
No, it's not. Even though I had the trades experience in carpentry with my dad in Detroit, they don't teach you. So you go to school online or in person. They sell you sunshines and roses, daisies. It's going to be great. It goes money. You look at a dollar sign. Oh, I could do that. So you go to schooling, you go on there, get your schooling, you get your classes done, get your license. All right, you're on your own. Bye.
Yep.
Well, how do I get inspections? We got to get your own inspections. It's like you go, it's hard. I'm really transparent. It's hard to start your business because you have to build relationships with people. That's how businesses grow, right? Yeah. I always tell every inspector who wants to be an inspector, come shadow me, because even, man, I tell you the truth, even real estate is just like this, a lot of realtors, I work with a lot of great realtors who are still in it, got out of it. They sell sunshine and roses, like, oh, you make all this money, we get all these leads, and they go to Honduras, they go to school and online, and they get out, they're like, okay, you're on your own. Well, I thought you'd give me leads. No, there's a phone. Call people on Google, go from the list, or use your friends. And so it's like the same way with our business. Agents pay for Zillow leads, we pay for Google leads, but we're here to grow our business based on relationships with people. That's how we grow our business. Because in all honesty, between you and I, you can have the greatest website, you have the greatest brochure, the greatest business card, or you're just like everybody else. What makes you so much different? Why should I work with you? Right? Are you going to help me grow my business? Or are you here to kill deals? Right? And that's what I know. And that's the reason why I'm a realtor, because I know the struggles and the frustrations and the late nights, right? Those offers. I see it with my own wife. She comes out, crying, tears in her eyes. What happened? That guy I showed 7 houses? Yeah. He's going to buy a house now. Like, what happened? Oh, his dad said, let's wait till the housing market crash or whatever. It's just, just a very emotional business. It really is.
It's very emotional. It's very relational. And as a, and as a home inspector, you have the dance, right? Like to dance, but it's a tightrope walk of like, you want to be able to, call out the defects for the buyer because you want them to have an honest and open, like perspective on the house. But you want to, but you don't want to do it in a way where you're killing deals, right? Like,
no.
Because if you're just crushing everybody's dreams along the way, you're not really serving your client, and you're certainly going to gain a reputation very quickly as a deal killer. And In fact, at one point we joked around that, and I still might do this.
Sure.
But at one point we joked around about buying used hearses as our inspection vehicles, and putting in those big slide out trays, like they put them in pickup trucks, slide out trays, and bring all the tools in there. Yeah, because I mean, a couple of things, right? The hearse, a used hearse is really cheap because there's not really like a big market for a used hearse. They're like Cadillacs and Mercedes too. So like they're beautiful vehicles. So the inspectors be riding in luxury, and to have the hearse and like home of the deal killer, you can have like scratch tally marks down the side of like 1, 2, 3, 4, to be able to how many deals you've been killing. And so
gosh.
The joke is if we're all showing up in hearses, because I was like, this is awesome. You can get low miles.
Yeah.
They're cheap, for like 10 grand, you can buy this awesome vehicle and has a bunch of storage in the back of your tools. It'd be kind of funny to put a coffin in the back and open the coffin and have your tools in there or something. Like
that's
we
funny.
Joked about like the subtle like nod to the deal killer,
right? And that's and that's what I was going to touch on because I don't think it'll go well either. I don't think it will go well at all. That's the thing, Matt. It's like the thing that kills inspectors' business is their mouth.
It is.
That's how you talk to clients. How do you explain things? Because you can have like, I might be showing my age from the 80s. You have Ben Stein out there inspect a house. They're like really cold, straightforward. Or you can explain to your clients how to fix the things. And the things I see in every house here in Northeast Ohio are things you could take care of when you move it, a lot of it. Here's a good example. All right. Grading. We have a lot of basements here in Ohio, right? So you got a lot of water in basements, right? What caused a lot of water? It's from the poor grading, which I don't use the word grading. I'll use soil because my clients don't like, what's grading you mean? You grade a report? No, it's soil. Your soil is slipping into a house like this, going towards a house. Your downspouts discharging your foundation. And that's where a lot more majority of your water intrusion comes from, So I explain my clients how to take care of that. And those are things that, like you see a crack in the basement and the mortar joint. Is a crack there. Is it structural? No. It's not structural. A house built in 1962, that crack is still less than a quarter inch, real thin. It'll be fine,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's like house will still move, house will still flex. Now, if I see some some displacement or bone in walls, it's probably from frost heaving, like someone putting pressure on that wall, and go forward from there. So it's just basically, Matt. Like I said, I'm a talker. We can tell. It's just how you talk to your clients, my friend. That's really what it is. Talk to me, human being. Talk to me, human being. Don't talk like a doctor or a scientist or an inspector. Talk to them. Use terms that you say can use. That's what a lot of inspectors don't understand. And another thing too about me as well. I have a background as a chef / carpentry, so I know the trades. I hustle as a chef. You work Friday, Saturday nights, Mother's Day, Easter, holidays, bar mitzvahs, whatever. You got to hustle, bro. You got to bust your butt. You got to get out there. And same with real estate. You got to hustle. You got to grind.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That's why,
So, growing this business in the beginning, I slept and worked 7 days a week. And that's just what it was. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start my day. And I wouldn't get done with my day till 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'd just be exhausted and fall back into bed, get up in the morning and do it over again. I did that 7 days a week, and it cost me a lot. Like it cost me a lot. And would I do it again? I don't really know. Right. But as I'm sitting here now, it's like, man, my business has grown and it's done very well over the last few years because I put in so much work, and it is a grind, and you have to keep getting up, and you have to keep a good attitude, and you have to keep, you're right. Your mouth will build or destroy your business very quickly in this business. Yeah. It's so true. It's not whether or not you can find the defects and the technical knowledge. It's how you interact with people. And
exactly.
Like our mission statement is we bring peace and confidence into every environment. Like that's how it starts. And so our inspectors, like we carry peace and we carry confidence. That's what we do.
Amen.
And so if you find a problem in a house, it's like you can communicate that and within a peaceful way, in a place that, it's like, hey, every house has defects. Every house has problems, and we joke around that like, hey, we're still looking for that unicorn house that doesn't have any problems. Every house has problems.
It's every house. Like I told my clients during inspection, like, where's the crack in the ceiling? I use terminology like squirrels. So in the beginning, I do my driveway speech. I say, listen, we're here to look for elephants, the white elephant in the room, the big bears, big ticket items, right? Every house has squirrels, chipmunks. They're like, what's that? Like, well, loose doorknob or a drywall crack or a pop, whatever, nail pop. Those are squirrels, My client's like, there's this crack there. I see it. What's that from? Oh, it's a drywall seam. See it right there? Oh, okay. It's from humidity.
Yeah.
And those are things, those are squirrels, right? So we will
Yeah.
find squirrels in your house. My house has squirrels. It's just that it's you were here for the big tonight, the big like broken trusses, bone in walls, stuff
Yeah.
like costly items, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly right. And putting that in perspective. And I think too, like one of the things we do in the driveway talk is we make sure we point out the age of the home. We're like, well, this house was built in 1966. And so it's 2026 now. So what we're looking at here, is that a 60-year-old house? Yeah, that's 60 years old, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay, 60-year-old house. All right. So we're inspecting a 60-year-old used house that has been used by multiple families over the course of multiple decades. This house has seen a lot of wear and a lot of tear on it before we even get in there. And they're like, okay. And it's like, it's also seen a lot of maintenance and it's seen a lot of things. Like we're going to see some new stuff in this house. We're going to see some stuff that's old. We're going to see some stuff that's in the middle. Hopefully your roof is not 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they all
hopefully not, right?
Right. It's been replaced over the course of 60 years. This roof has been replaced multiple times. You know, your heating and cooling system has been replaced. Things have been replaced along the way, you know? And so they're like, okay, so we just want to figure out what the condition is. And then what we do at the end of that, we have our summary at the end is we bring up, man, I got great news for you. Virtually everything I found in here is the normal 60-year-old used house stuff. Almost everything here is normal stuff, you know? And they're like, okay. And I was like, yeah. So, you know, it's like, you're going to see the little stuff in the report. That's normal wear and tear. You're going to find that in any house in this neighborhood. So let's talk about the things you may want to pay attention to. And then then you bring up the big stuff. And then when you bring it up, it's like, hey, this roof is, 25 years old. It's showing its age. You can probably get some more life out of this thing, but the maintenance, you need to really stay tight on the maintenance. Every year you need to have a roofer out here, but you also need to know this is about the time you start praying for a real solid hailstorm, so that your insurance buys you a new one, and,
exactly.
And people will laugh and they're like, but you make it funny and you make it like serious and make it practical. And I agree, but then you start building this reputation. And so I know that you're busy, right? You're booked, you're busy, you're running strong. And you are in the process now of expanding from being a solo inspector into starting to add additional inspectors in your team. How's that going for you?
It's going great. It's like raising a child. I use the analogy child. You got to find, so every child will come out different, so it'll take a long process. So I learned my mistakes. Somebody had a pulse, breathing glass. Oh yeah, come work for me. Well, he was a nightmare. Let's leave it at that. So now we start going over a screening process and make sure, that resume, make sure you fill a questionnaire out, make sure how the communication is. Then after that, to do a phone interview with them, see how they are on the phone, if they're personable, because then once that's okay, great. After that, then comes shadow me inspection. Let's see how they are. Do you have reliable transportation? Do you have a driver's license, insurance? Everything that everybody should have. Yeah. So he comes shadow me inspection. At the end, I was like, okay, I'll let you know if I'm the next process and go forward from there. So I sent an interview out. So actually it was like 2 weeks ago I hired him. So he came on board. He's great. He has, what I'm looking for is open heart. I can't change this. I want someone with a good heart. I don't care about this. I care about your heart. Yeah. I don't care how much you know, because I can teach you what you need to know. I can't change your heart. So if you have a heart for people, helping somebody, that's what I'm looking for. I want somebody reliable, communicative, who's very energetic, doesn't have fear of heights, not claustrophobic, nothing like that, who's willing to go into a $1.5 million house at 9 o'clock, then go into a really hoarder house at 3 o'clock for $60,000. There's different aspects of our industry. Every home is different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking on homes, I want to touch on what you just said about older houses. I'm going to urge you out. I love talking. I love older houses, man. So being in carpentry and trades, I love the hardwoods. I go in the basements, I see the oak, the walnut, the cherry wood in there. Newer homes don't have that. They have engineered pine wood. Everything's just slapped together. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I teach this class. I teach this class here in town, and I talk about the different decades of defects. That's what I call it. Yeah. And I talk about, what years you see lead-based pipe, what years you're going to see polybutylene or whatever, different electrical issues and stuff. But when I get to the lumber side, there was a shift in the lumber, and you know, and it's probably up for debate when you start seeing some of these shifts, but there was a big shift probably in the 80s because you start to see engineered trusses coming in. You don't see it all stick built on site anymore. You know, so you start seeing that shift, and in there, the lumber shifted too. And, and so I'm curious, because as in carpentry, right, you see the older houses have harder wood, and so, you know, it's interesting to me. So I would be curious on your take on the switching from the harder to the now pine, which is like a little bit softer wood, and even how they're doing that, and how they're even harvesting those trees and growing them and stuff. You know, like so my house is built, that I live in, is built in 1962. And people walk into old houses and they'll say, this house just feels like it has good bones. And it's because it has the older wood in it.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing I was going to touch on, because you go out in the basement, you see the mortise and tenon joints where they hand hewn the woods with the line marks in there. You see that. You see the square head nails in there. You see mortise and tenon joints. And this one house I inspected, older house, I don't think it was built in 1890, 1900, had a limestone foundation. Now, when I go down there, limestone foundations are amazing. I love limestone foundations. A lot of people don't know how to maintain them. What I see a lot in our industry is people go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll buy the Quick Right, and they're missing mortar and the limestone, they'll pack it in there with that. That's a no-no. You're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to use hydrated lime and sand. It's like a mixture, like a mortar. You put it into the stone. The reason why is because it helps it flex, expand, and contract. You want this home still flex. That Quick Right, Home Depot or Lowe's, will crack that stone. So that's a no-no right there. So very rarely do I see anybody masonry around here in Cleveland. I haven't found one yet. If you're on there, let me know. DM me. I see mostly in Boston area, New England area, stuff like that. But out here, I hardly see anybody doing that. So I educate my clients how to take care of the house. Because Melinda and I, we had a house like that back in Sandusky. 2-story house. It was a limestone foundation, beautiful house, older house. And it was great. It was part of a brewery in Sandusky. And Prohibition, they went out of business. The house is still there, though. But I'm going down being half the houses. But yeah, back to your woods. Yeah, I don't see it. It's just because you know what it is? It's cost, man. It's really what it is.
Right.
And you know, the builders out there right now, they know we have a shortage of houses. So they figure out, okay, the faster we get this houses up, the more cha-ching money we make, right?
Right.
Well, we all know what happens when we work fast. Overlook something, you forget something, you know, and all the wood out there, it's so like low quality. It's like quality. It's a bunch of knots in the wood. It's all split. It's just, it's bad. It's a bit bad.
Right. Yeah. It's not great quality. And you can see it and you can even feel it when you're walking through houses sometimes. And so you see, like on the newer houses, you see more expansion and contraction, stress cracking in the drywall, which is normal, like in normal humidity, normal stuff. You don't see as much of that in the older houses because the way that the wood is. So the older wood too, like that was like they were cutting down like forests that had grown naturally versus tree farms that they're cutting down now, right? Like that's the difference too. So right. So back then, that tree would have to weather the storms, and so the rings on the tree are closer together in the old wood, so that made it more dense. Because it had to forage, had to get its own water from the ground. It had to battle the storms of life, and that made it harder and stronger. And then and now they have a lot of these trees that are being, they're being fed on a drip watering system with all the nutrients and everything. So they grow faster so they can harvest it and get more wood out of it. And I mean, God, that's a metaphor for life right there. You know what I mean? The storms of life make you stronger and make you better. Whereas if life is too easy, it makes you soft. And so you have that. And so, I think, man, there we go. That'll preach right there. That's for sure. So like that right there, cause it's true though, you start facing hardships in life, and it's because you're going to be stronger because of it. And so, embrace the storms of life. Don't run from them. So I think the wood is like that shift that happened in the wood. And and you see it in the older houses versus newer
Mm-hmm.
houses.
You do.
But then you look at an older house like my house built in the 60s, well, my electrical system in my house, well, that's older wiring. And it's adequate. It's copper. It's a good
Right.
wiring. But
Yes.
the wiring they put in today is a little bit more robust than
Correct.
the
Exactly.
wiring that they used to put in back in the day. And like you look at my circuit breaker panels, some of them have been replaced, some of them haven't. And so, that's you have stuff that where my plumbing is, older, my sewer lines are older, and so there's yes, the wood is maybe better, but some of the other things are a little bit older, right? Not as good.
Yeah, and those are things we educate ourselves as a society, like, oh, asbestos, great things to slice bread. Well, if I realize, and you're not supposed to use it, it causes lung cancer. Kind of like back in the 50s, people smoking cigarettes left and right. Oh, we didn't know about the health effects of that. So we start educating ourselves as a society, like, oh, we can't use lead water pipes or lead wire and stuff like that, but
yeah.
But basically, I wanted to touch on something you brought up earlier is hiring. So the reason why I hired, man, is because I've grown so fast, so quickly, I can't take on inspections as much as I could. I'm 52 years old. I have a heart as a 20-year-old, but I have a body as a 60-year-old. That's why Linda's like, you wake up at 5 o'clock to work out? Like, yes, Linda, I do wake up at 5 o'clock to work out every day. I try to, not every day, but I try to, because I'm a high liability. And most civil inspectors don't realize they're a high liability. You get hurt, you're gone. You're up. You're done.
Well,
Peace out.
Can you
You're done,
imagine,
man.
if you break a bone or something to where you can't you can't inspect, right? You can't climb ladder, you break a leg or something, you can't inspect. And so then as a solo, right? And so then it's like, okay, hey, sorry, I can't get to your inspection. Then people are calling you saying, hey, can I get an inspection? It's like, well, I broke my leg. I can't inspect right now. I need call me like in 3 months, right? Well, 3 months to go by, they found a different inspector that doesn't have a broken leg that can get the job. And so then now they built a new relationship with the new person. 3 or 4 months later, you're like, hey, I want to get back at this thing. And so now you're calling up your old contacts. I'm like, I guess I'll put you on the list. But, now you have to rework yourself back in. And maybe some of them love you, and they come back. But you're right. Like, it's a high liability. If you are a solo guy, your business is built around one person. And, and yes, you don't have employees, so you don't have those headaches. Yeah, you have control. Yeah, there's a lot of great benefits to being a solo, but there's also that high liability you got to think about.
Right, exactly. And it's so true, because the guy I hired, people are like, well, I like you. I don't want you to hire anybody else. Like, well, don't worry. He will be like me. He'll be my twin. Actually, he's bald like me, so he has the same barber. But he will be my twin.
I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he actually has good heart. He has great mind. He has better heart. He has great heart. But no, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, he will be my twin. I will train him to be like my shadow. Trust me, he will be like me, Mary Emmons to me. But that's the thing, though. I want to have one. I want to get 3 other ones. I want to have one near Sandusky. So I got a lot of agents I work with out there. I want somebody on the east side near Beechwood area, farther near the lake. I need someone down south near Akron, Canton area, and someone north, like downtown area. Because I'm spread out. I can't do everything. So I have another employee. I have an office assistant. I got 2 VAs, one office assistant, one does my office work. So you might get, if you hear this podcast right now, if you get a different call from somebody, trust me, they work for me. So that's my goal. So I got one guy right now. I'm planning works for another 2. But thing is, though, I don't want to go so fast that I lose quality. And because there's so many inspectors out there, I'm not saying who, what, but it goes so fast, it goes so slow. I want to have quality over quantity. I want to make sure everything's done properly and precisely for my company, so.
Yeah. Well, you've worked hard to build the reputation that you have. And so then growing from there, I mean, when I went because I was solo in the beginning as well. And then, I interviewed like crazy. I interviewed 45 people before I hired my first guy.
Oh, I know. It's like 80 applications went through.
Yeah. I was very, very picky, very picky. Yeah. And so, but I found my first guy but the same concerns. So like, well, but we like you, Matt. I was like, hey, don't worry. Danny's a good guy. And, and he's going to be trained just like me. And they're like, okay, well, and I would always tease them, and I'd be like, well, you can always request me. I said, we'll give the new realtors the new guy, and they'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And so, we would joke around with that kind of stuff, but they also know that I'm growing a business, and and then eventually, we got more and more guys, and I worked myself out of the field entirely. And now Danny has worked himself out of the field entirely. And And because we have a big team of inspectors as we've grown.
Sure.
One thing that I've noticed for me and for other guys I've talked to is in the beginning, growing with extra inspectors, it's the first few hires, it's a slow process. But as you get better at training and better at hiring and better at all that, that process gets faster and faster and faster. So we trained 2 inspectors last year and got them in the field at the same time. And so we're training 2 right now again, that'll be out in the field again in the same time.
Right.
And so, so rather than adding 1 every year, and we're adding 2 a year, and it's kind of growing faster. And then maybe eventually we'll add 3. I mean, who knows, right? We have no idea.
Right.
But the more people you have too, you really have to focus on the quality and making sure everybody's staying inside the guardrails. And so you have to have systems and processes in place to be able to do that. And I will say going from 1 to 2 was difficult. 1 to 2 was difficult. One of the biggest hurdles was when I finally got out of the field myself. Yeah. And because I had a lot of big time realtors that just wanted me. And and that was a tricky process to get out of the field. But we were able to do it and get it done. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing I've come across. I want you, I don't want him, don't trust me, you'll be my shadow. But our training process with our company, I told him, I said, listen, 16-week course. I'll teach you each week, each one. His schooling's already done. I got his license. So, he's going to do all that. But once he's fully capable of once he learns everything, I want him to teach his people skills. He has great personality, but I want to make sure he's in and out 2 hours, no more than 3, 1,600 square house, 2 hours about average. Get in, get out, just be 0 in, just like counterclockwise. Teaching the process, the SOP, the standards of practice we follow in my company, the handbook. And make sure it's quick but efficient, but not overlook something. You know what I mean? Right. So, because I had one guy I was training. Oh my gosh, he took it's like he's in the room too long. You got what are you doing? Checking his phone or taking a phone call. No, you're not supposed to do that. I want you to get, because the sellers leave the house, man, for 2 hours or 3 hours. You're not going to be there for three or 4 hours. One, the realtor's not going to call you back.
No, they don't want to be sitting there for that long.
And it's sellers want to get home. This is somebody's house, so you got to be efficient, quality, but at the same time, see what you see and overlook it. So there's a process we have in our company for sure. So
we've done that too. Mapping out that process. And I think as a solo person, it's easy to be like, well, this is just what I do. But in order for you to really grow, you have to go, okay, what's in my head, and get it out on paper and into here's the actual steps and process and how I do this. And you don't really, when you're doing it by yourself, you are unconsciously just doing it because you know what to do. And then when you start hiring it forces you to get it out of your head and write it down and be like, oh man, this is the steps I need to take. Because in order to teach the next guy, you got to be able to do that. Right. And so,
bingo. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then when you actually get it out and write it down, for me, it was like, oh, I actually got better at my job. I got better at doing it because now I have to teach somebody else how to do it. I don't just naturally do my pattern. And then there were some bad habits that I had started to pick up as a solo guy that I realized I need to clean up this bad habit because I don't want to pass this on to the next guy. Because I know that what I'm doing right here is a little bit dicey. And I don't know if you have any of those. I don't want to admit them.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
And actually it forced me to clean up my template too in my software because my template was sloppy because I know where it's at and I don't have to.
Exactly.
Then I was like, now I got to teach somebody else. And it's like, oh man, I need to fix my template so that it's good for the next guy to be able to teach him. And so a lot of little things like that. It made me better as an inspector and made my company better when I started to have to teach and train others to do it.
Exactly. And that's why when you speak about sloppy. Yeah. So certain situations go through my trainees, my employees I hear, I don't want him to see me doing this. Because there's certain situations you go in a house in the garage, there's so much stuff in there. You got to move stuff around. You got to get your ladder up there. You got to position it right. Make sure you don't fall down. Because I don't want him seeing what I'm doing right now. So you got to clean your act up a little bit when you bring an employee on, right? Yeah. You got to clean your template up too. Because there's things in there oh shoot, I got duplicates of this. I got to clean this up. So I definitely did some cleaning up for sure. That's the reason why before I brought him on a team, make sure that was cleaned up. I wrote everything down, did voice to text, ran through AI, wrote everything out. into an SOP. But so we have a 16-week course. So 1 week we'll start with electrical. 1 week will be HVAC. 1 week will be roofs. 1 week will be plumbing, whatever. It's step by step by step. And, after a 16-week course, I'll see how he does on his own, make sure how he learns everything, does a great process, is efficient in quality and speed, clockwise to the whole house, because it's a process we follow with it. And how I talks to the client too, At the end, key word is communication. How do you talk to a client? How do you explain your clients? You don't want to use hose bib. Use the word spigot. Grading, soil, just things like that. Things that people understand. Like, I don't know what that means.
Right.
WRB, what does that mean? House wrap. Oh, okay. It's just the things you don't want to use. Inspectors fall on is their verbiage, how to talk to clients, how to explain to your clients. Okay, here's what we found. Here's what caused it. Here's how you could, and being the trades, here's how you can fix it. Now, it's conditioned how you guys feel. If you want to repair it, some things, like I said, we're here to look for elephants. Now, these are squirrels. These squirrels you can take care of when you move in. Here's how you take care of it, right?
Yep.
And if you don't feel comfortable taking care of it, we list the contractors, talk to your realtor. That's why he or she is here. They can walk you through that process. But we explain to clients the things we find. Because I tell our client, the things I find I can think is easy, you think it's hard. Things you think is hard, I think it's easy. Or vice versa, whatever,
Right.
But that's the thing, though. Clients like, oh, my brother-in-law's an HVAC guy. He'll take care of it. For my last client, I don't know what that is. What do you recommend? Well, if you don't feel comfortable, talk to your realtor. We'll walk you through. We help you guys through this too. And I tell our realtors we work with, like, listen, don't think my job's done at the inspection. Call me for anything. I'll walk you guys. A lot of my clients, Matt, they buy house out of state. And so we schedule a Zoom call online or FaceTime at the end of inspection. I'll walk through a house, show me where things at. Like, oh, that's where the main water valve's at. Oh, that's where electrical panel's at. That's where gas meter's at. And I just explain it to a way they can understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's really good. You got to make it palatable and
right.
And then you got to train your employees or your new guy to make it, how he can do it as well. And then as you continue to grow, right, you have your market is set up regionally, like you were saying, like there's different areas that you could split the market into. And so to be able to find guys that can kind of handle each area, that's fantastic, and then you can start to market that and start to work on that thing. It's interesting, right? So I think every business is kind of has some of the same challenges, as an inspector or a plumber or even a baker or a lawyer or a dentist. You go to dentistry school, they teach you everything about the tooth. You go to law school, they teach you everything about the law. You go to bakery, they teach you how to bake, but they don't teach you how to run a business. They teach you how to do a thing, right? And so everybody has a trade or a skill, or they're a technician in a certain exact trade or skill set they have, whether they're a surgeon or whatever it might be, but they don't teach you how to run the business. And that's where, that's the challenge every time. It's like, how do you build the actual business? And so, even a lot of business schools, not all of them, a lot of business schools teach you how to, get a business degree so you can work for somebody that owns the business. But where do you go?
Right. I know.
They teach you how to be the employee, but they don't teach you how to actually run the company. And so
exactly.
And that's where I think here's the shameless plug for IEB Mastermind, because in the IEB Mastermind, you have a bunch of business owners talking about here's how you own a business. Here's how you run a business. And there's really nothing else like it. And so, especially in our industry, even the other organizations that are out there, they're great organizations. They teach you how to do certain things. They might teach you how to be a better inspector, or there's one that is really good at, like, here's how you do marketing, and those groups are fantastic. But I think IEB is one of those groups where we teach everybody how to run the entire business. And as we build the person and build the man or woman that owns the business, we build that person and teach them how to be the better man or woman and teach them how to be the better business owner. Like, the whole business grows. And this is a really unusual thing in our industry. It's actually, I'm finding, unusual in other industries as well. It's hard to find groups like what we have inside our organization.
Exactly. You hit everything on the nail on the head. And that's the reason why I love about IEB, is because, realtors, they got their brokerage, right? They go collaborate with them, get feedback from a brokerage manager, talk to other agents. You can fill a channel for me. inspectors, no, I team with other inspectors in my area. There's a lot of inspectors out there. It's like, oh no, you're my competition. I don't want to hang out with you. Like, no, don't think like that. It's your mindset, right? I do team with inspectors in my area. My whole goal, in my business is help other people grow their business too, because we're all here to get a slice of the pie, right? And I reap what I sow. I treat other businesses and people how I want to be treated, because it comes back 3 times fold. But back to IEB. That's the reason why I remember IB. So I joined back in IB fall of last year. I'm in the entire year. I actually started a pod with a couple guys, 3 guys. Well, one's in Illinois, one's in Indiana, two in Florida. So it's 5 of us, including myself. Mm-hmm. We meet every Wednesday morning. And IB was great. As a community, we can collaborate, talk together. Like, listen, I'm having this problem with this, or, here's my issues, and we can all help each other out. Even though we're like all around the United States, even here in Ohio, we can talk about it. We collaborate. We do Zoom calls. We talk on the phone. Even though you're 100 miles away, it doesn't feel like it, But the community is great, because that's what really fuels me, is the IED community. With Mark Hummel's videos and his inspirational talks, that's what motivates me. And what I see them, like I see him or her, I want to be like that. So that's what excels my business, excels me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I just love the collaboration, and I just want to throw out there, man. And so I hope there's somebody here in Ohio listening to this, here in my Cleveland area. Feel free to reach out to me if you need help, or I'll reach out to you. DM me, text me, whatever, because I'm here to help you. I want to help each other, because, people are like, oh, that's my competition. Why? Don't. That's your mindset. There's no such thing as competition in the industry. Realtors go to realtor brokerages. They're all realtors. They all help each other out. They're in the same room together. We should be in the same room together as well. You know what I mean? So, I just want to say I've been amazing for my business. It's been really helping me out a lot. So.
Yeah, me too. It's really helped mine out a lot too, and it's it's given me the framework, and then the community too is just incredible.
Yeah,
so it's been a really great experience for me as well, and so it's really cool to hear your story and hear how you got into the business, how it's growing, and how you are like now working through the challenges of hiring new people and training groups and training new guys, and you have a program you're mapping out, and it's interesting because I find over time you're going to refine it. It's going to get better and better and better the more you do it, and we just redid our entire training program this off season right before we hired 2 more because of that exact thing. We're like, okay, so the way I used to train when I was in the field, I trained a couple of guys, and then I stopped doing the training. They did the training, and now they revamped the whole training. I actually can't tell you exactly all the steps in our training process because the team is now taking ownership and they're training the new guys. But over time it just refines and gets better and better and better. And you figure out little tips and tricks. And so it's cool to hear your story and hear how you're building and growing and adding people and you've got a vision for it. And so, in fact, you've mentioned a few times. So let's say this, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, like what's the best way for someone to get a hold of you? All right.
Best way to get a hold of me is I can tell you a line now. Text me at my main number, 440-865-0763, or DM me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm even on WhatsApp app, or my website, upcloseinspections.net. There's so many ways you can DM me. So contact me that way. Email me, James, or office upcloseinspections.net. Either way, I'll get the email. But there's multiple ways you can contact me for sure. And please contact me if you need help or suggestions or, in the feedback, whatever you guys need. I'm here for you. So
up close inspections in
.net.
Cleveland, .net. But you're up close inspections and you're in Cleveland, Ohio. Is that correct?
Yes, Cleveland, Ohio, the metro area. Where our office is located here in North Royalton, so it's a suburb of Cleveland, near Strongsville area. So like I said, who are you? We're from Toledo. We never heard of us yet. I'm from Detroit, so I still support the Red Wings. So, I love it. So it's awesome.
Man, it's been really great having you on the show.
Yes,
and I look forward to seeing you at some of the next IEB events, man. Thanks for being here today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks, man. Take care.